Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. This is Stroma Gaming, I'm your Stroma, and today we're continuing our quest to get SpaceX to the point where we can return Elon Musk. Why do I call him Ellen? Because he looks like a famous blonde chat show host, obviously. But we don't need to go here. But we do have a Probodyne Stay Putnik probe core, which is very exciting, because that means we can start to launch satellites. I think satellites are a good source of income. So if we go to mission control and we explore them. Wait. Oh, the skipper's the massive one that we maybe unlock the ability to use now? Oh, test the spark. A launch site, that's always good. Launch site. Space, so that's just orbit. So there's a lot of tourist stuff, which I don't really want to do. So let's do this one. So, is that all we can have? I can't remember if we upgrade this. Otherwise, yes. Test the radial decoupler and science data from space around Kerbal. Does it give me any criteria for this? As a consequence of blah. Trivial prestige. Getting into orbit. Pfft, anyone can do that. Idiot fodder. But I can get to space. I'm fairly confident about that. Ferry tours. Focus observational survey of Kerbal. I think we need a space plane for that, which we haven't unlocked the stuff yet. And the tourist stuff, we need the crew capsule, which of course we haven't unlocked yet because we haven't got the science. So I immediately just purged what they were from my head. So we need to test the spark at the launch site and the T38K radial decoupler. T38K radial. Can we do them in the same? We probably can. So yeah, we'll just do it with a probe core because I assume we don't need a pilot with it. We'll take a, I guess, very small fuel tank, and you're gonna be so mad. I've already forgotten what engine it is. I think it's called the Spark. Swivel, Spark. Oh, it's adorable. Yes, brilliant. Then we need coupling, radial decoupler, and might as well have 2, just so the thing doesn't fall over on the launch pad. Do we need to have something it can decouple from, or can we just drop it, like, or just right click on it and test it? Let's find out. Right, so first things first, test this engine. Can I just right click on it? Run test. Complete. Lovely. And this? Okay, that's gone poorly. And I've not completed it. So I wonder what I didn't do. So I've just realised I didn't have my headphones on because I heard that explosion. I heard it, but it's just an auditory hallucination. So I didn't really hear it. Right, let's check the actual. Maybe because there was nothing attached to it. So with that assembly. I was talking to a friend that's watching the video, and I suggested that in future I'll get a little bit more established, get like a few more components unlocked, and then we'll go for a kind of a Iron Man mode where if something goes wrong, you can't reset. You know, if I strand Jebediah on the moon again, he's just gone. So that frightens me. It frightens me a lot. But I think it'll make a. So that's very expensive. I want something extremely small and extremely cheap that this can decouple from, and I guess like another fuel tanks tend to explode, but maybe an empty fuel tank. I have not. I disappoint myself so much. So you guys must be like just generally disappointed the entire time. I'm gonna check the time. It is 1:32 in the morning. So we're gonna go for half an hour from this point. Fuel tank. I'd like 2 of these. And I'd like to set liquid fuel just on empty fuel tank. There we go. And you Well, that should work. Nope, stop being so dumb. Okay, so we are right-clicking. We are not. Liquid fuel, liquid fuel, liquid fuel, liquid fuel. Do you know what? The engine probably needs very little fuel to run a test. I always forget about the spark. I wonder if it's really good in the vacuum, or what it's good for. I've never really invested in it much. Here's our ridiculous little probe. So let's launch this again. So let's pull up the instructions. So we test the engine. And test. Completed. So now test radial decoupler. This is going to explode. How am I not testing it? The Probodobodyne survived, though. Oh, I'm not at the launch site. Right, this is annoying me, so let's revert flight to vehicle assembly. Let's go back and read the fluff text to see if that sheds any light on it. Test the radial decoupler. Excuse me while I read. Okay, I've now read all of that, and maybe it's the wrong. No, because it said have it. We just need to test it. So it was TT38K. We're using like a TT36. It said we had it. TT38 radial decoupler. So it explodes. I don't know what more we can be doing. Test. Is there anything you can do? Can you? Maybe it's because I haven't done it as staging. I've done it as individual. So if I press space, oh, okay. So it means activate it as a staged item. The more you know. So we'll know for next time. Don't right-click and activate it. Oh, I got a little bit of oxidizer back. That's exciting. 1 funds. That's what Kerbal call their money. Funds. Give me something about a. Have they don't want to ferry a VIP? So I'm going to decline that. Stop it. I don't even think we have that decoupler. In flight over Kerbal between. Okay, so that's definitely a space plane because it says be at this altitude going as little as 210 meters per second. So again, we'll need the space plane stuff for that. So I don't want to ferry tourists. So again, see the sights on Kerbal and need a space plane. Need a space plane. Need a space plane. Annoying. Space plane. Space plane. Yeah, focus survey. Stack separate. So. Do we have that? The TR2C stack separator? I don't think we have that, so No, TR2C is what it said. I'm just making sure that I'm not being an idiot. It could be anything else. So, am I missing something? Is that... Because this is what... We need this. Well, we've got... Yeah, we need this because this gives us, like, stuff you need to make a plane, like wheels and air intakes and jet engines? Yeah, jet engines that use very little fuel in atmosphere. So we need this, so we can't do any of these contracts until we've got that. So for the minute we just have to keep rejecting them? Oh, see, so near Dinkelstein's Dawn, we need a space plane. Tourists, can't do it. Tourists. Basic jet. What are you doing to me, Kerbal? Right, any tourist one is just getting knocked back. 4 tourists get stuffed? No, I haven't got that either, so you're getting stuffed. This is... Test spark liquid fuel engine landed at Kerbal. So we've got the spark. We did this, we landed in the ocean. So basic jet engine, haven't got it yet. Haven't got that. Haven't got that. Haven't got that. And maybe we could use this on this, because I think we've got the radial mount, Mark II radial. Okay, we'll give that a try. So we need the spark engine and the Mark II radial parachute. Excellent. Right, get lost. So it's again Probodobodyne. Can we mount a parachute to that? It's not pretty, but I don't care. Probably only 2. Probably only needs. Yeah, and if we put a little decoupler beneath that, then it's the only thing that's coming back is the probe. So we need to get up not very high, sort of a medium fuel tank engine. So it is better in a vacuum, but it does not produce a lot of thrust. So oh no, we need to bring this back because this has touchdown. So let's get rid of the stack decoupler because that would have just made us the entire mission a waste of time. How much does this weigh? So 1.5 tons. How much thrust does it have? See, it says flying. So that might be like heavier than air flight, so we need to actually have wings, or it might just be in the air. Suborbital jet. I apparently didn't read... Oh, no. That's the skipper, that's the skipper. The spark is just... needs to land. So... we could just... If this lifts up a meter and then lands, we should be able to run a test on it. But first of all, let's just see how high this goes, and if it activates the condition. I don't think it'll go that very high, it might not even move. So... please stop wobbling. Maximum power. SAS. So our probe core doesn't have SAS, so this is just going to wander wherever it pleases. So how did I what? But I didn't land. Okay, as you can see, we've got some issues here. So I'm going to revert to vehicle assembly. So my dog's at the door and he's making a fuss because he's being ignored. Hello, Freddy. You're a good boy. I don't think he likes that you can hear me talking, but doesn't understand who I'm talking to. So let's try that again with some fins to keep it going straight. While I fuss the dog and give him much reassurance for being a good boy. So the first one should complete it. This is a very stumpy dart, so I'm quite nervous about that. Okay, well, it still worked. Oh, we're going off course even faster than before. I am not a master of aerodynamics. Hey, Freddy, out! Come on. Let's put the dog back to his bed. You move these. Can they be lower on this? Maybe, I've always wondered what this item's for, so today maybe we find out. Structural. This feels like it'll do the opposite of helping, but... And it makes it heavier, of course. So the rocket will have to work even harder to achieve the same goal. Yep, that is not a high-performance rocket anymore. I think it's gone a bit wrong there. So what we're going to do is we're going to revert to vehicle assembly. That was a failed endeavour from the... I do hate this construction system sometimes. Let's take that off. Then take that off. Get rid of that. Put that on. So, just for the sake of getting anything done, we'll turn up the fuel ever so slightly. And that should have completed it. Yeah. So this says flying. So that really makes me think that it has to be a space plane. Man, this is a grind. Like, if it just give me a satellite to launch or something, put into orbit around Kerbin. No, that's not. Well, this is a space plane hangar. As we can see, we don't have any wheels. We don't have any proper wings, so they're just useless to us right now. Do you know what? I'm just not doing it. Nope. Nope. Like, just... anything that isn't flying. Poodle, liquid fuel. Perfect. Let's do that. Suborbital trajectory, and what height was it? And we can try this parachute on the way down. Maybe we're going too fast, but I don't know. 180 to 190,000 meters. So if you want that kind of height, the easiest way to do it... It doesn't have SAS, so we're not going to use that yet. We're going to use this guy, and then we're going to use our radial chutes. Give him 3, make sure he's nice and sealed in there so he's not going to come out. Should give him a nose cone if we've got one. Aerodynamic. I'm just gonna put that back. So, what do we want then? We've done the engine. We're testing the poodle in space, so we want a decoupler. Nope, we want a heat shield. Then we want a decoupler. Then we want fuel. I don't know how much fuel we'll need, so I'm going to give us a big one just in case. And then beneath that we want the poodle. Don't tell me I haven't unlocked the poodle. We have. There it is. It's... I've been talking about the poodle for a long time, thinking it's one of these, but I think that it's got another name, like another dog name. But that's relatively massive. But we'll... Okay, we'll make it work. I want to... Yep, this... Maybe we'll put that nose going back on, actually. And, yeah, and the airflow will just flow. We'll get... Yeah, that's fine. The airflow will just smoothly flow around the entire rocket. My solution gets even more elegant in a moment as well. I understand what these blue ones are for now. You only have them for as long as you have the contracts, and my enormous, ludicrously overpowered plan to get into space is... No. So these are on loan to us. Does it say that anywhere? It doesn't. Man. Okay. So we're doing this the old-fashioned way. So that means fuel tanks. And then swiveling, unless this one can gimbal. It cannot, so get there. And then some of these which need decouplers. I only want 2, I think. Yeah, it was good enough for the real, what's it called? The Falcon 9 Heavy Lift, I think it's called. That was just, Ellen, you know, on first name basis, was tweeting about today. Then it's good enough for my train wreck of a ship. Let's put these a bit lower. Between episodes, I meant to look up, because the original rockets, I think it was the Soyuz rockets, had 4 of these. And when they release, they peel away in a pattern that looks like a cross, and it's called the Somebody's Cross. And I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. But it would have been a nice reference. So what have we got? We've got big boys, decouple. I want this to fire at the same time, but use very, very little fuel, just for a bit of control authority. Well, we're carrying a stupidly big engine up here, so I'm concerned. And I know I can access thrust to weight ratio information down here. Or maybe I can, what's this? I don't know what this means. But maybe it's the instructions are for losers. Maybe it's a mod that gives you thrust to weight information, or I'd have to do some fairly basic maths. But I refuse to do maths. So that decouples both thrust, then they fall off. Then the next stage is to drop this one. So once they've gone, that continues going, so you just need to throttle it up. Then this engine goes, which I imagine will drain this in seconds. That decouples, then the parachutes. I'm hoping that won't clip with the strings. I'm not even going to save this because it's too much of a disaster. So, SAS on. 2 clicks of thrust from our liquid fuel engine. Just to keep us straight. These are going to burn out very quickly. That black thing in the distance, I think might be a monolith. I think I should go explore that when I get the spaceplane parts and I can drive over to it. So, start our gravity turn. I forget what we're doing, but it's rocketry. You go up and then you go round. It's basic tenets of rocketry, as I understand it anyway. Ugh. It's a bit leery. Right, should get better. Right. I think this is doing some weird things to the aerodynamics, so I'm going to stick some fins on it, because that's my only solution to anything. How much lift do it tell me? Use these. Why not? I think we've got the parts budget for it. I'm hoping this doesn't just cause a shock cone that means the air just never touches this. Well, the shock cone would be from here and from here. So these might do nothing. But let's find out. And you know what? While we're on the launch pad, we should probably check what our actual objective is here. Kerbal. So we'll get to that height. And the parachute's on the way down, which I'll almost certainly forget. So, is there a benefit to going? Well, it would take less fuel to get to that height, because if we circularize at say 90,000 meters, it will take a lot less fuel to speed us up to get to that height rather than punching up straight vertically. So I'm going to try and go into. This doesn't look like a craft that can attain orbit. I'll be honest with you. 3 clicks of. Do you know? I'll turn up this before I release these. I'll turn up the central engine before I release these this time. SAS on. Go. Monolith is haunting. I think it's a monolith. I don't think it's always there. I think monoliths are randomly generated when you start the game. They're on other planets, and I think they give you science. But I don't know that they give you science. Right, I'm gradually gonna throttle up my liquid fuel engine. Okay, I'm going transonic. Just, we need. So yeah, the SAS is working very hard to keep us straight. It really wants to flip round. Do you things, fins? Oh, it seems to be doing its thing. Okay, the atmosphere gets thinner and thinner, so I'm going to get quite a... We're slowing down. Maximum... Okay, we're speeding up again. I'm hoping this will just, like, boot us into space, like, massively. It's like a nuclear bomb behind us. Okay, in the... just transitioning into the upper atmosphere, so the air should be pretty thin, so aerodynamic effects should be fairly minimal. Yeah, so I'm not instantly flipping around, so that's good. Just hold it there. Find out where apophysis is. I'm confused. Not a lot. So when this one's out, we're dependent on this rocket to get us there. And I'm pretty sure we're just going to have to rebuild entirely to try and drag... Maybe I should just come back to it, because it's not designed for parts of this size. And then... Yep, so that's a very, very thirsty rocket. However... it seems to be a very powerful rocket. Is that going to get us high enough? Poodle, suborbital 180,000 to 190,000. So that's, yeah. So when I hit 180,000, we just test it. Man, that's a powerful rocket. You also get fuel tanks this wide as well. Big orange ugly things that, contain... so if the fuel tank is twice the radius, it'll have 4 times the volume, because it's a a direct square law. Yeah, so the cross-sectional area is proportional to the radius squared. So you double the radius, you get 4 times the, a horizontal slice, so a cross-section. So there's 4 times as wide. Yeah, so twice as wide, 4 times as much fuel. So that'll go down 4 times more slowly. Is it weird to say like 4 times more slowly when we say 4 times less quickly? Would that be more correct? Don't know. What's Jeb doing? Don't jettison that. Can you give us a crew report? 5 science. I'll keep that. We can't give us a second one. So let's speed up till we hit 180,000-ish. Okay, so now we just run test. Gimbal, what is it? Oh, it's a gimbling engine. Maybe I do mean the poodle. Because maybe when we get to like these giant fuel tanks, that's better for going to the... Well, you need a lot of fuel to get to the moon, so you could store that much space in that much fuel in 4 of these, which is much longer and much more unstable. So now we can focus on our parachute, although it doesn't say flying, and we are not on the ground, as the ground that I lose. There it is. So I'm kind of tempted just to see what this engine can do. So we're going that way, right? Punch it. See what happens. Although if we circularize and there's no fuel left, I'll feel like a very sad boy. Cool. So it wasn't far off, for considering what a ridiculous like charade this whole ship was from the very beginning. I think it's done quite well. So, right, need to get rid of... I cannot control this thing. Right, dip your nose down. No, why is that? Am I... What? SAS, do my job for me. Lock to flip down to retrograde and launch that into space. There we go. If we lock to retrograde, it should, as we come into that. I'm worried this nose coding is going to explode as we burn up. So as we re-enter and don't burn up. So that's a nice effect. Kind of high level reflect. Is that what's happening? No. To me, it looks like the light's kind of... I don't want to say reflecting. I don't want to say refracting, but I guess interacting in some way with the atmosphere. But I think it looks cool. So let's keep an eye on this height, because I will get it wrong. Oh. So now we are flying. So between 2 and 7 and 90 and 250 meters per second. Do the parachutes have a test option? No. Let's keep an eye on our... Oh yeah, we're fine. It makes me wonder, what do you have to do to destroy one of these? Because we've come in directly vertical and at like extremely off axis, like and extreme angles, and it's still been fine. So unless you must be like boosting vertically through it, I don't understand how you destroy one of these. And there's better ones later. There's one that's like inflatable, and it starts like this and pops out to the radius of, I think, that poodle engine, or maybe bigger. It's a very big thing. Is that our... I think that's our engine. That'll explode shortly. So maybe flying just means in atmosphere. Oh, actually, our speed, we're not ludicrously fast. So by the time we hit 7,000... Well, as the air gets thicker, I think we'll slow down. So yeah, we could test the parachute now. It's not saying it's dangerous, so... another successful test. And now we wait. We're still going very, very fast. Okay, and now we're going very, very slowly. I think 3 meters per second is... That's probably quite a slow walking pace. I don't know what that is in miles per hour. I mean, the calculations aren't hard, but as I said, it is after 1:30 in the morning, so... And I don't have my trusty Texas Instruments with me, so I'll not be doing that calculation. These are very effective parachutes. The again, if I remember correctly, this is what the Apollo parachutes look like. I think. Just jettison the heat shield just for a laugh. And that slowed us. Oh, that slowed us down even more. Why would I ever do that? Just talk amongst yourselves while we wait. You can't recover the vessel until like no. Maybe you can't recover it when it's sped up. No, that'd be stupid if you could recover it before it landed. So with 100 meters per second at 2.5, so we're looking at 20. A long time. Come on, land, land, splash down. Awesome. Recover vessel. Okay, how are we doing for time? Oh, we've gone well over, but look at that, we achieved 5.2. Please give me more science. Oh, actually, we are getting there. And once we get, as I said, once we get wheels and stuff, we can start. And I hope they haven't patched this out. This came in with, well, last time I was confident of it, it was patch 1.2 or 1.3, where you could drive around each of these areas and take all the science instruments, which I will look up rather than try and reel off the top of my head. So each of these... Experiment storage unit. I don't know what this does. I think the Science Junior lets you... So you know when it says keep... you know, you run your thermometer or your barometer, it says keep experiment. I think you can store that in here and you can run it again. But let me read it quickly. Okay, so the fluff text is not exactly useful, but I think that's how it works. Is you can run because we've got 3 pieces of science: the goo, the temperature, and the barometer. We can drive. If you make a craft with this in it and those on it, we can drive around to each biome, take readings from each of these, and get a crew report. Put them into this, and then I think we need to actually. I think we need to take a scientist with us rather than a pilot, because he can get out, he can EVA, and he can reset these, and then he can run them again at the next biome, store the results, reset them. And it's a bit grindy, but it does work. And if we want to power through the science early on, oh, I've been looking for how to change the crew. So I think that would be. You can boost the value of data from science experiments. Okay, so he seems exactly the kind of guy we want, but yeah, reset experiments, run experiments from EVA. Yeah, so Bob. Can you rename them? Because I think Bob. I know Elon Musk. Elon isn't a scientist. He's a philanthropist. He's a rich person. You know, he gave us PayPal and Tesla. But I think Bob. I've got a good feeling about Bob. But I think Bob is our Elon. And can they be renamed? No. But let it be known, and it is now canon, that Bob is Elon Musk. So he must be kept alive at all. He is very stupid. Why is our scientist so stupid? Why is the engineers... This was obviously built by engineers, this game. Because this is rude. I don't know what stupidity is good for. Maybe Geoff Bus. That's not a name. That's just a random... Well... I wonder if these names are generated by, like, pairing just a couple of random strings together, so they had Geoff, like Jeff. So maybe it's Jeffbus. Anyway, Bob is Elon Musk. If you like this video, we're going to end the video here. But if you liked it, hit that like button and leave a comment down below saying what you liked about it, or anything you'd like to see me do. Because we've got a Christmas. We've got Christmas coming up, and I want to do a Christmas special. So anything you'd like to see me do for that. I have something in mind, but if someone gives me a better idea, I'll do that. If you didn't like the video, hit the dislike button and tell me why you didn't like it down below in the comments. I make new content, including this, every single day, so if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. This has been Stormer Gaming, I'm your Stormer, and I'll see you tomorrow.